Hey, VC, it's Jonathan, the Cheap and Shuffle record collector. There's a thread going around doing your favorite records A to Z. Um, First off, I don't understand some people. Okay, I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter to me. You can organize your records any way you want, as long as you can find them. That's all that matters. But I know I went to school in a different century, but back when I went to school, you alphabetize things by the author or the artist's last name. I mean, if you're looking for J.D. Salinger, you don't look under J, you look under S. You're looking for Ernest Hemingway, you look under H, you don't look under E. You look for Bob Dylan, you look under D, not B. So people I mean, I don't understand. You know, Rolling Stones is not under T for the Rolling Stones, it's under R for Rolling Stones. That's one name. But absolutely, it doesn't matter. As long as you can find your record and you can lay your hands on it to play it, doesn't matter. But I just don't understand people alphabetizing things by first name. I had to get it off my chest. Okay. I started picking records and I decided I didn't want to do everything from the rock section. So I started picking, I have my records organized by rock and pop, jazz, blues, folk, country, soul, R&B, etc. So I decided to pick one from each category as I went along, like A from here, B from there, etc. So I got a nice conglomeration, a little mix of albums. So we'll start with A. And A, I'm picking one of my favorite jazz piano player, singer, songwriters is Mose Allison. If you don't know Mose, was a Southern piano player, singer, songwriter. He wrote songs you probably know like Parchment Farm and Seventh Son. This is a great album of his on Atlantic. It doesn't have the one song I'm looking for, but one of my favorite songs by him is a song that, I hate to bring politics into it, but I can't help myself, should be the theme of our president today. The song is Your Mind's on Vacation and Your Mouth is Working Overtime. So that's the type of thing that Mose Allison would do. If you don't know him, definitely check out Mose Allison. Great singer-songwriter and a jazz piano player. That's my A. B, I do the obvious. The greatest band, the Beatles, and this is my favorite album of theirs, is Revolver. Nothing has to be said about that. C, I went to country and he was the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. This is Orange Blossom Special. Fantastic record, and by a legend, obviously. Johnny Cash for C. D, what can I tell you? Bob Dylan. This is a great bootleg series. This is More Blood, More Tracks, which is the Blood on the Tracks album, but stripped down. Basically, he recorded it, the whole album, originally, and then he listened to it, and after a couple of months decided didn't like it, scrapped the entire thing, and went and re-recorded the whole album. This is the original recordings, really stripped down and bare, and I like it as much, and some of the songs I like better than the one we all know. So this is a great album. More Blood, More Tracks. D, Bob Dylan. E, the Everly Brothers. Everybody wanted to sound like the Everly Brothers. The Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, everybody. Just Crosby, Stills and Nash. Everybody wanted to sound like the Everly Brothers. This is a repress of an album they did called Songs My Father Taught Us. And really hard to find the original, so this is a really nice repress, just called Folk Songs by the Everly Brothers, and it's a beautiful, beautiful album. If you can find the original, I would definitely jump on it, or if not, grab this one, the Everly Brothers, as my E. F, Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. This is a Vinyl Me Please copy I got last year. It seems everything I find in the wild of this particular record has always been pretty well beat. So I decided to hell with it, and I pulled the trigger and got this beautiful copy from Vinyl Me Please. Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. F, G. G, I went with Buddy Guy. And this one is featuring with Junior Wells. This was a record store day a number of years ago. This is a great album, the Criteria Sessions. Don't have a date. Eric Clapton plays on here. AC Reed plays on here. Looking for a date on it. I know this is 2016, but when the original? Don't know. Oh, 1970. There you go. G, Buddy Guy. H, back to jazz, and one of my favorites, Coleman Hawkins, the Hawk. This is the genius of Coleman Hawkins on Verve. Great tenor saxophone player, the man himself, Coleman Hawkins. I, the International Submarine Band, Graham Parsons Band. Great stuff on here. Folsom Prison Blues, Satisfied Mind. It must be somebody else you've known. Strong Boy, Luxury Liner. Great album. Yep. International Submarine Band. J, the one and only, Dr. John. This is his first album, Grease, Night Tripper. Took me a while to find a nice copy of this one. And I think this is a, I think this was also a Violently Pleased, but I can't remember. But Dr. John, Night Tripper. There's the Doctor. If you don't know this album, really spectacular. Really greasy New Orleans funk. Great album. K, the King, B.B. King. This is the Live at the Regal. Fantastic record. Obviously, that's why I picked it. 1964 recorded. Fantastic. B.B. King, Live at the Regal. L, John Lennon. What else you gotta say? Nothing. John Lennon. M, I went back to jazz for M and got my all-time favorite musician, Thelonious Monk. I mean, to me, there's no musician, jazz, rock, or anything that comes close to Thelonious Monk in his playing and in his compositions. This is Paris, 1969, with Charlie Rouse playing tenor sax, Philly Joe Jones on drums. On Blue Note, Thelonious Monk. M. N, head back to country for N. We got to go with Willie Nelson. This is The Red-Headed Stranger, the album that sort of changed everything for him. Fantastic record, unbelievable. I guess when they put this record in, the company said, all right, well, it's a nice demo. Well, let's record the album. And Willie goes, no, that's the album. That's the way it's going to be. They thought it was so raw and it wasn't polished enough. And he said, no, that's how it's got to be. And it was. Red-Headed Stranger. Oh, Roy Orbison. His beautiful album, Lonely and Blue. Man had amazing vocal ability. Great songwriter. Great singer. Just one of my favorites. Roy Orbison. Lonely and Blue. P. Going through this pretty quick. P. Louis Prima. Louis Prima was a jazz trumpet player and singer. Did a lot of Vegas acts and played all around the world. Just fantastic. One of my favorite jump blues. And he was the call of the wildest. Louis Prima. Q, we go back to some little rock and roll for Q, some early 60s, mid-60s rock, and we got Quicksilver Messenger Service, one of the original San Francisco bands. Great band. Never really, today hasn't been, they're not shown the acclaim that a lot of the San Francisco bands got, but great band, and this is a great album. R, I went back to jazz, and I picked one of my favorite jazz guitar players of all time is Django Reinhardt, who does gypsy jazz and a lot of the stuff with, this is with the quintet of the Hot Club of France, with Stefan Grappelli playing violin. And this were all recorded, I think, in the 1930s and 40s. They don't really give you dates on this particular one, but great album. And a great musician, Django Reinhardt. S, back to rock and roll, and we go with the boss, Bruce Springsteen. Love a lot of his stuff, but The River really speaks to me as one of his great accomplishments. Fantastic double album. The River, Bruce Springsteen. T, how about a little soul? How about a little Ike and Tina Turner? This is The Hunter. I love this record, man. It's so cool. On Blue Thumb Records, this is a great freaking album. Ike and Tina Turner for T's. You, not a lot to pick out of you, but I'm going with Early Psych. I'm going Ultimate Spinach. This is their second album. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Ultimate Spinach. That's my you. V. A lot of these I could have picked going a lot of different ways, but with V, it just, I had didn't even think about it twice. I went directly with Dave Van Ronk. This is folk singer album. This album, when this came out, I used to play this all the time in the 60s. This was like the album. Dave Van Ronk on Prestige Folklore. I'm going to say it's like 66, 65. There's my V for you, Dave Van Ronk. W also, didn't even think twice about W. I knew exactly who I was going to pick when I thought of W, and it is the great Tom Waits. I know a lot of people don't like Tom Waits, or they don't get Tom Waits, but first time I saw Tom Waits was when he opened up for Bonnie Raitt at Alice Tully Hall at Lincoln Center in New York, and I had no idea who he was. And I remember turning to my friend and I said, "Who the hell is this guy on stage growling?" And I knew he was something different. And this was like right when his Nighthawks at the Diner came out, right around that time when I first saw him. And then I got to see him a little later in the Bottom Line in New York City, also in the 70s. But always been a fan ever since. Tom Waits. That's my W. X. How many X's out there? Not too many X's. This one I picked up only like a month or two ago because everyone on the VC was talking about it, and I happened to find it in a Goodwill and a CD, and it's a XTC, and this is Skylarking. I listened to it a couple of times. I like it. It's good. It's I got to give it a little more time. Listen to it a little longer, but yeah, XTC is my X. Y. I was, could have gone a couple of different ways, but I ended up going with my standard old 60s rock and roll, and I went to the Yardbirds with my Y, over, under, sideways down, backwards, forwards, square and round. There you go, the Yardbirds. I don't have to go into it. Everybody knows the Yardbirds. And Z, the man himself, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. One of my favorite albums of all time. Fantastic record. So there you go. Blew through that fairly quickly. A through Z. Some of my favorite records. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody who's joined recently. I got a lot of new subscribers, so I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this for the first time and you feel like you want to see more of my videos, hit that little bell down below and hit that subscriber button. I'd appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and staying inside and not going too stir crazy. Okay? Hey, until next time, take care and peace.